When talking motor vehicle safety, the research is staggering in fatalities in the U.S., especially for those between the ages of 5 and 34. This topic is very near and dear to my heart because I've been affected not once but twice by losing a loved one due to a motor vehicle crash. On June 30th, 2001, around midnight, my sister Elena was killed in a car crash. She was a passenger in a car driven by one of her friends, when all of a sudden she took off her seatbelt and grabbed the steering wheel. To this day we are uncertain why she did this. The car skidded off the road. The driver tried to regain control, but by then it was too late. The car became airborne and Elena was ejected through the window. The car then landed on her, causing her death. She was 19 years old. The driver, who was wearing a seatbelt, walked away with minor injuries. My family got rocked emotionally for a second time on March 24th, 2005. My brother Brandon was killed in a two-car crash. He made two decisions that proved to be fatal. The first one was getting into a car with a drunk driver, and the second one was not wearing a seatbelt. Brennan and one of his friends decided that they were going to head up to Erie from Meadville to hang out with some girls. The problem was they both had been drinking, but they decided to go anyways. As they were heading to Erie on Route 19, the car Brennan was riding in crossed the center line. As an oncoming car approached, the driver of Brennan's car swerved back into their proper lane. By this time, the driver of the oncoming car had swerved as well. The two cars collided head-on. Brennan died due to blunt force trauma to the chest. He was 20 years old. Every day, almost 30 people in the U.S. die in motor vehicle crashes that involve an alcohol-impaired driver. This amounts to one death every 48 minutes. In 2010, 10,228 people were killed in alcohol-impaired driving crashes, accounting for 1/3 of all traffic-related deaths in the U.S. Here are some safety tips you can take to prevent drinking and driving. You should designate a non-drinking driver when you are in a group. You shouldn't let your friends drive drunk. You should take their keys away. And if you have been personally drinking, you should either get a ride with someone who hasn't been or call a cab. Another fact I found was each day in the U.S., more than 9 people are killed in crashes that involve distracted drivers. So you may ask, what is distracted driving? Distracted driving is driving while doing another activity that takes your mind or your attention away from driving. There are 3 main types of distractions. First one is visual. This is when you take your eyes off what you're seeing. The second one is manual. This is when you take your hands off the wheel. And the last one is cognitive, and this is when you take your mind off what you're doing. Some examples are using a cell phone, adjusting the radio, and eating. While any of these distractions can endanger the driver and others, texting while driving is especially dangerous because it involves all 3 distractions. We need to stop using our cell phones while we are driving. Let someone else control the radio and always wear our seatbelts. Seatbelts reduce serious crash-related injuries and deaths by 50%.